Good Friday, traders! Welcome back to the Forex Board Trade Academy with Victor. In today's video, I will basically give a market update for all our ideas. We will go step by step through all the ideas and see what we should expect perhaps today and the beginning of the next week. And before we start, I would like to remind you that all the information in this video is for educational purpose only and should not be considered as a financial advice. You can see how many ideas we have piled up. Basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 ideas that still remain open. That's quite a lot, and I just don't want to give extra ideas. I want to basically finish with these ones before we move on. It's quite a huge portfolio at the moment, and it's hard to track everything. So for today we focus on the market, what's happening with the current ideas. On the Australian Canadian dollar, I think this one should be moving quite nicely towards the resistance, and this could be one of the strongest movers. This is because the recent idea was dollar Canadian dollar, which also might suggest that the Canadian dollar will be getting weak. So Australian dollar is getting strong, Canadian getting weak. This could be quite one of the fastest moving pairs today and perhaps the beginning of the next week. So moving slowly towards the resistance. Australian Japanese yen. Same here. It could be one of the fastest movers across the Australian dollar pairs because we also had Australian Japanese yen currency pair idea, and it also might suggest the weak Japanese yen. Australian dollar strong, Japanese yen weak, fast uptrend, if that is of course the case. But at the same time, it could be that the dollar will be moving these two pairs, and this will not make the strongest movers Australian Canadian and Australian Japanese yen. So we will see how it goes. Now moving to the Australian Swiss franc. Now this looks pretty good to me, especially after this sort of massive consolidation. Price, I think, will eventually start. You can see there was no strong moves at all, like previous trends, quite strong ones. Now, maybe this is the beginning of one of these moves. I do still believe we will be moving higher. Perhaps we will update targets if there will be any changes and adjust maybe some resistance levels, but so far it looks in line with the analysis. It's all going as expected. New Zealand Swiss franc, it's approaching the key resistance here. What I think, guys, there might be a break above the resistance also, but we will stick to the plan. We will basically see what happens at this level at 62.20 area, which is the key resistance for this pair. So yeah, moving nicely, just rejected this level. Previous support acted again, very clean bounce, and price closed above the previous high. So yeah, could be the beginning of this strong move to the upside. The Euro New Zealand dollar, this one was one of the best performing ideas, considering the very tight exit in relation to the potential downside move. This idea, I think, was the best performing, and I do still expect continuation of this move to the downside. Australian versus Euro, also good idea. It's moving as expected. Here we can see price has been struggling to break below this support, but what happened is today we finally broke below. There was a double bottom here formed, very clean bounce of this level for 2 times. Finally we broke, and this could be the beginning of the stronger wave to the downside. We will see, but still valid idea. Expect the downtrend. Australian versus dollar, there's not much here to go. We were talking about yesterday about profit fixing. I still think it might reach the resistance, one of them, because Australian dollar could be still stronger than the dollar. And you can see it's not that far from the key resistance, which I think still can be reached. And perhaps it will be today, the moving day for the Australian dollar, or maybe on Monday. But still, I think the idea can be valid, especially if it's a risk-free idea. New Zealand Japanese yen, this pair almost reached the key resistance, and I think most likely it will go towards 71. And here it's it's probably not the best to fix profits at this level, but it's better to wait and see what happens at this price. If there will be a breakout, perhaps the best to wait for 7100 is a key psychological level. But of course, if there will be a rejection, it's better to finish with this idea. And today I prepared for you update on the previous idea. We all know that it has reached the critical point that we had previously for the pound Australian dollar. But what I think, guys, we actually will be moving down. I have updated here the downside target, which is higher than the previous one, just to play it safe. It's 161.8 fips applied to this correction, where last time moving average 50 exponential moving average was rejected. I have updated the downtrend trend line where we have the rejection of the trend line. And what happens is that price broke below the moving average once again. And here, if I zoom it, we can see the rejection of the 50% fips, clean rejection, along with the moving average. And then price produced a new lower low. So this was ideal point for sellers. And this is the reason I use this point. So we will see how it goes, but just an updated idea here and potential downtrend continuation. I do expect this move to the downside. Yes, there was a too close the key resistance that I have placed. It should have been obviously above this high, above this massive resistance, but overall it's always, you know, I try always to achieve best risk to reward ideas. But here we have this idea, pound Australian dollar is still valid and it looks like that. So basically the ideal entry could have been at this stage. Dollar versus Canadian dollar. This is the idea of yesterday along with the dollar Japanese yen. It's a valid idea. I definitely like this setup of how everything goes. Here we have price consolidating, and if you remember, guys, yesterday I was speaking about 4-hour close above this support. If I zoom it in on the 1-hour chart, here was our key bounce, and you can see that even on our 1-hour chart it failed to break and close here. Then if I move to the 4-hour chart, clearly there was this massive spike and then no closing candle below this level. And now the critical point here would be probably here at this low. If there will be 4-hour closing price below this level, the idea will get much less attractive, although not completely invalidated. So here is a point to watch closely if there will be 4-hour close. But for now, it still remains very attractive for the short-term upside move. And I do think we will be moving towards this resistance in the beginning of the next week, I guess. And finally, the dollar Japanese yen. We have here also range trading. The idea still obviously valid. We remain above 200 exponential moving average. This resistance area now became the support area. And we might still expect the spike to the downside below the 107.32, and this could be the final move if there will be one. But look at this candle, there was very clean bounce, rejection of the moving average, price produced spike and failed to close lower. So here could be the beginning actually of the move, and it will start today. Who knows, we will see whether price will attempt to spike down or not, but idea definitely valid. And I hope you enjoyed this quite a long market overview before we finish our trading week. I really hope that you enjoyed all the ideas we had during the past 3 weeks, because there are so many piled up, and I think most of them are going towards the levels that we expect. Thank you for watching. Obviously, I would like to see at least 50 likes, guys, throughout the weekend. And that will just show your appreciation, your interest in these ideas. So I know I'm trying for a reason. I wish you a great weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday. Thank you all for watching and take care.